Hi guys, it's October here. My day was yesterday and I am getting back to you today slightly late as my son was a bit poorly, so I am doing my video today. So I hope this video finds you all well, and I believe that this week's topic is called What is your craft? So I have basically written down a few things which I'm going to share with you, and hopefully it will help you guys out with some things. So I'll just go ahead and start. I've written, this topic truly made me think, so I decided that I would share with you all the maybes or the possibly not so obvious things about my craft, and to discuss therefore the individualities within us all that may have guided us on the paths in which we have so chosen to follow, however they may have come about. Finding your witchy feet, so to speak, can take time, and everyone's desire to take their knowledge to the next level will differ from one person to the next, as we are all our own individuals personally and magically. We all differ in the mundane aspects of our own lives, so it makes sense that naturally we would regard our witchy individualities too. We continually learn, so growing into our spiritual shoes, so to speak, is no different from growing into our regular ones. We continually physically grow until we reach our physical peaks. However, like our non-magical shoes, we don't always buy the same ones, and not all shoes will fit us size-wise, because when you think about it, we don't always know our feet, as all shops vary a little regards what fits us, as the fit will all depend on the style, for example, what type is the material, or maybe how is the manoeuvrability. So why should we expect anything else with regards our spiritual growth? Our bodies change all of the time and over the years, as does our knowledge. And as I believe knowledge is something that we will never ever gain utter completion on, change will always be present. Sorry, my son's above me and he's being noisy. In my video today, I thought I would share with you a few topics such as what makes my craft special to me. Now this is obviously going to be very individualised to each of you guys, as to your path and your own beliefs and your own paths and what direction your path follows, etc. Where am I? As well as how I came about doing some of the things that I do magically with regards to some things such as what I prefer to do for my dailies, to maybe sharing some of the more in-depth things such as gathering items for workings, offerings and seasonal altar adjustments over the months. Maybe in turn these will help you in the same way as they have me. So here we go. Number 1, please remember to take care of yourself the best you can, as if you are happier and healthier on the inside, it will in turn help you out with a lot of other things, including your craft. So basically, take care of yourself, you know, do little things you need to do to keep you feeling healthy and well. And I know that that's not always the easiest of things to do, especially if you're busy and you've got a family and you're working or you're running around all the time doing different things. But just take some you time, even if it's a bath or a relaxing cup of tea, you know, reading a book or taking 10 or 15 minutes into another room for time out for yourself. Do whatever you need to do to help you, is basically what I mean. Really the only time I get time out is if my son is not in, when he's sleeping, first thing in the morning, just after he's gone to bed, or if I have a bath, and even then I have to keep the door locked nowadays because he's like a grown man and you don't really want to be walking in on your mother in the bath at that age, so I have to keep the door locked and just keep an ear out in case you hear "Mom, Mom," which does happen sometimes, and I just have to chuck my nightgown on and go and see what he needs. So that doesn't always work out, but the best you can really. What else was I going to say? Yeah, number 2, figure things out. In other words, use your senses such as your energy levels and take note of how things are making you feel. For example, do certain things make you feel vibrations? Do you get a tingly feeling, or do the hairs on the back of your neck or arms stand up? Or maybe you might feel an intense heat or a cold sensation. Also, one that I got and have been getting for a long time, but it can take you sometimes to really tune into it, which is your witchy intuition, i.e. your gut feeling. So whatever you feel, however you feel things, please remember that it took me a while to figure most things out, because some I had felt from as far back as childhood, while others I did not begin to really tune into until I was an adult. So everybody's different, and everybody tunes into different things at different points, at different times in their lives, and takes longer to maybe become more in tune with themselves than others. Everybody's different. Yeah, as I was saying, some things that I go as far back as childhood, other things not so much until I was in adulthood. Just learn to trust those feelings and go with them, as it has taken me a good while to pinpoint most of these. And I am still learning now, but for the most part I have adopted a pretty good radar for a lot of things. Yeah, I've got like more of a little in-tune radar now, where I can fathom a lot of things out that I maybe wasn't so sure of, or my gut feeling will tell me something, my witchy intuition, I will know, right, to go with that, don't ignore it, you know, that type of a thing. Also, another thing, a lot of people, excuse me, need to take a sip of water. A lot of people feel that if they haven't had a calling to work with a particular deity, that there's something wrong with them, or they're not doing something right. Don't worry about that at all, as I've put here. Don't feel worried if you've not had a calling or the feeling that a certain deity wants to work with you, as this is not something to worry about and not necessary at all. Some of us will never have specific callings while others will. Just be yourself and your path will carve its way and become the path it needs to be for you. Let your heart and spirit guide you, and always remember that the universe always knows what you need, whether that be a solitary yet eclectic path or a more defined, structured path with a very specific connection. What's meant to be will be. So don't worry about anything like that at all. Just go with the flow. You know, concentrate on your path and you know, building up all these little stepping stones type of a thing, and things always slot into place. Whatever is meant to be will be. That's how I look at it anyway. Where are we? Sacred spaces. People need to understand that if you decide to do a sacred space or an altar, not everybody wants to do that or can do that, but if you do decide to do that, or if you want to do that, then make it your own. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, and basically put things on it that resonate with you. There's no right or wrong way. Loads of books tell you have to have things here, there, this over here, this down here, this to the right, this to the left, this in the middle. Just go with your gut feeling and do what you feel resonates with you. So as I've put here, make your sacred space or altars as individual as possible and as unique as possible, as your unique touches will make your magical place feel amazing. Sure, be inspired by others, that is a beautiful and wonderful thing, but when it comes to your layout and what you choose to put on there, the more personal and creative the better. Make things if you're crafty, and if you're not so inclined, find little items that resonate with you instead, as this is your path and these are your spaces to conduct your own unique and personal energy and magic, so let everything you do exude your inner oomph. So basically, the more individualised you can make it, the more personalised you can make it to how you feel, then the more it's going to work for you regards a sacred space. You know, just go with your gut, really. Just go with what you feel. That's the main thing, really. And you can never set up an altar incorrectly. The only thing I would say is that if you are working with a particular deity, a particular goddess or god or saint or anything like that, just do a little bit of homework to make sure that you don't put anything on there that maybe they dislike. Other than that, the world is your oyster, really. You can put what you want on there within reason and have it set out the way you want. Next thing, wild harvesting versus shop bought. I have put here, I think both have their places and their individual purposes, but I am finding as the years go on that I am being drawn to gather and harvest even more than I did in the beginnings of my practice, as I feel it keeps the earth connection even more prominent than just popping a few things in a basket online. However, I think it also depends on your location and hold on a second, where we are. For example, if you are fortunate to live close by a forest or woodland area like me, you can pick up a lot of things within those areas, obviously wild harvesting, I mean. However, don't forget that you can also find an array of collectible goodies in your garden too, such as clover, nettle, dandelion, buttercups, the common daisy, self-heal, other things you might have grown in your garden. Like I'm in a rented property, and when we moved in there was already certain things established, like rose bushes, etc. And sometimes you will even come across a few surprises too, such as sorrel, holly, mistletoe, etc. And then obviously, whether you're in your own property or not, you can then choose to grow certain things within your garden, or even if you don't have a garden, in window boxes or in on your patio, on your steps, even your front or back steps of your house. You don't have to have a garden to grow things, and there's some things you can grow very well inside as well. So the world is your oyster as well for growing things and wild harvesting. I've also put familiarisation is also the key to figuring out what the plants are when the plants are most abundant, but also please remember to never pick anything you're not sure about, as there can be a lot of plants that are toxic, and even in some cases really toxic as in deadly. So definitely never ingest anything you have not done your homework about, as we don't want any poorly witches on our hands. So that's very true. Oh, I've got the hiccup, excuse me. If you're not sure about something, don't pick it, and definitely don't ingest it or use it in any thing that's going to penetrate your skin and get into your bloodstream if you're not sure about it. Do your homework really, really well, and make sure that you don't pick or harvest things that could be, not good for you, give you a tummy ache, or worst case scenario, be toxic to you. So just do your homework on that. So I think in some cases going to the shops or doing online shopping, which I do sometimes, can be beneficial. But over the years, especially this last maybe year or so, I've been buying a lot, I have been making my own stuff as opposed to buying stuff, and I've been wild harvesting a lot more. Because the area around about me I have found over the last couple of years, I've found certain things that are growing there, where to pick things and all that type of a thing. So you learn that as time goes on, especially if you're just moved into a new area or something, and you're just getting your bearings on where things grow and where to get things, and the seasons and when things are most abundant, etc. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. Also get to know what works for you. For me, my favourite forms of magic are water and fire based. Regards fire magic, I work predominantly with candles a lot, but I also love fire pits and outdoor fire camps the most. Indoors it is mainly candles, like I said already, outdoor pits or hand built fires for outside. With regards water, I'd have to say rivers, streams and my bath, but particular favourites are heavy rainstorms and the sea. I grew up by the sea, but I don't live beside the sea now. The sea is probably about 20-minute drive from here beside Blackness Castle, which is actually it's going out to the sea, but it's I always get this muddled up. Is it the Forth of Firth or the Firth of Forth? I think it's the Firth of Forth. I always get it muddled up anyway. So that's my nearest main sea type water source near me. What I've said is, when I get the chance to be beside the sea, I am in complete awe and find it very hypnotic and lulling. I grew up beside the sea, but generally I've always been extremely drawn to it. Its sound, smell, feel and energies. And as for the rain, especially heavy rainstorms, they actually rock me to sleep. If I am in bed all curled up and I'm all cosy, I find it very soothing. Yet other times they have the opposite effect on me and highly charge me, especially when there is an electrical connection or a thunderstorm in tow. So everybody is going to learn how certain things affect them. It also goes with people's signs, elementally speaking. I did a rune group a good few years ago now, where I learned a lot about particular things to do with that, and how a certain person that may be linked in with a certain element can have a positive or non-positive effect when you are in communicative situations or that type of a thing. So it's quite important and quite handy to know these little wee things as well. But I mean, I'm still learning every single day and probably always will be. What else have I put? Kitchen witchery. I think that in some way we are all doing this in part of most of our everyday lives, so we should be quite mindful. For example, even when you're making a cup of tea or coffee, if it's for yourself or whether it's for somebody else, depending who that person is. For example, if somebody comes to visit you and maybe there's a strange relationship or something like that and you're making them a cuppa, just be mindful when you're making that cuppa that you don't put any unwanted thoughts into that brew, because that is obviously going to be classed as your intent, and when that person drinks that tea, that is going to be in there, so be very careful. Also, sometimes you could do it automatically, like for example, if I make my son a drink, or he doesn't drink normal coffee, drinks decaf coffee, because with him being autistic, if he drank normal coffee, he would probably be bouncing off the walls. So if he has a decaf coffee or a hot chocolate or something, I watch how I'm stirring things, I am watching what I'm thinking, that I'm not making him a cup or something when I've just been dealing with a negative thing, or something where it's made me a bit edgy or stressed out or anything, especially bills, etc. Just go in there, clear your mind for a second before you go ahead and do that. Little tiny things like that. You don't automatically think. Sometimes you just go and put the kettle on and you're making a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, especially if it's not for yourself, or if it is for yourself and somebody else. So just be mindful when you are doing things like that as well. Obviously this is obviously a video, hang on a second, called What's Your Craft, but I'm incorporating what my craft is in with what your craft may be, so the two marry together, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of how I'm taking this video. Also, everyday growths and challenges. I have always personally felt that I perceive the world around me differently than maybe, say, my immediate family do. I've always been classed a little bit as the black sheep in the fact that the way I think and my belief system, and I'm very anti-media, and I'm very a lot of things can't be pulled the wool over my eyes with regards to a lot of things that is tried to be put onto everyday people. My belief system is that I don't believe a lot of things that some people may believe, or I believe that there is a bit of an agenda out there when it comes to control of higher authorities, etc. But I'm not going to go into that in this video. But so the way I've thought has always been a bit different from some other people that I was around when I was growing up. But I've also always had a deep connection with the tiniest things around me. Some of the smallest everyday things around me on an average day have made me feel like the most tiniest of speck on earth, because this little thing has had a marvellous impact on me. As I've said, tiny earthquakes moving mountains within. Most of the time it's been for basic things like it's been a quiet morning and I've been hearing the birds chirping outside or something. I remember one night I got woken up by the howling of the wind, which I love anyway. And I don't know, something made me get up out of my bed, crack my window a little bit and listen, like as if I was listening more intently. A lot of things like that. Also dreams. Dreams for me in my practice are a big thing. I have dream journals, I have sun and moon journals, I have weather journals, you name it, I have it written format wise, and they're good go-tos. Like if you have a dream, you can maybe go through your dream journal and think, oh my god, that links with that, or oh right, that meant that, or oh, I understand why this dream was telling me this. Or I sometimes have a dream where I'll have a dream and then the next again day it carries on from where it left off. And I think the longest period that I went on for was 6 days consecutively. I had a dream, went to sleep and carried on from where it left off the night before, and that carried on for 6 days. I think that was the longest that ever happened. But I have had that on many occasions and I don't know why, but that has happened to me. So having dream journals and journals for other things within your practice can be helpful. Also, depending on the path you're on, for divination, for example, learning about, in my case I'm learning about ogams. I have done different things to do with runes. I find divination very interesting, and my chosen types of divination would probably be my pendulum, my oracle cards, and probably scrying. I've just started with that really. Whoops, my son's tripping about up the stairs. So yeah, I have been practicing now a few years and I'm still just got my toe in the water, so to speak, with many different things. So I hope this video is helpful in some way, that we can share paths, and that my craft can interlink with your craft and we can learn from one another. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Lots of love and blessed be, and I'll see you next week. Bye.